The ending, I can't say anything about it, but wow. Wow. Hi, I'm Dabby, but you can call me Dabz. So today I'm reviewing The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this book is kind of I saw it a lot on social media, and I saw a lot of people saying that they really enjoyed it. So I wanted to pick it up and try it for myself. Also because one of my close friends read it, and she really loved it. And she was like, "You have to read it." So that's the reason that I picked up this book. But this story basically begins with amateur reporter Monique Grant. She writes for a paper called Vivant. And one day, this household name Hollywood star from the 60s, Evelyn Hugo, requests specifically for Monique to write a story about her. And Monique thinks that this story is going to be about this charity gown auction. So basically, Evelyn Hugo is auctioning off some of her gowns for charity. And Monique thinks that this story is going to be about that. But it turns out to be so much more. This story focuses on Evelyn Hugo and her life story of love, fame, and scandal. And this story jumps back and forth between Evelyn and Monique's lives. Although the story begins with Monique, it soon shifts, and it definitely seems like Monique's story is like the B plot, while the main plot is Evelyn's story. Most of the novel is about Evelyn. So one thing that I noticed right away about this book is how the writing was so extremely easy to read. And I think that my expectation of this book was that it was going to have very difficult language, and I don't know why I felt like it, but I felt like it was just going to have difficult language, complex words. But when that wasn't the case, I was just kind of pleasantly surprised. The things that need to be described in depth, in detail, are described, but the story flows very nicely. Like, the language is easy, it's not complex. The only one thing that I would get confused with was that the chapters didn't indicate whether they were from Evelyn's or Monique's point of view, and I just felt that I felt like it was a little difficult for me to figure out who it was. But after I read a couple sentences, I obviously knew who it was because of where the story was going. But that's just one small issue, I guess, I had. Another thing that I liked about this book was that it didn't make Evelyn the perfect character, and I suppose that's the point of the book, but it so very clearly showed that Evelyn had flaws, that sometimes she was a cruel person, and even Evelyn herself sometimes says that she knows she isn't a good person. However, Monique found herself often wishing that Evelyn's story ends up in a positive way, despite the terrible things she's done. And I found myself sympathizing with Evelyn as well, hoping that only good things would come her way, even though Evelyn had done some bad things. So that was something interesting, that this book made me sympathize with Evelyn. So besides Evelyn and Monique, I also loved a lot of the other characters. There were a lot of characters introduced in this book, especially because of the seven husbands part. So in this book, each chapter discusses one of Evelyn's husbands, and I felt like every character in this book had depth to them. They were well fleshed out, especially each of the seven husbands. They were very distinct from each other, and the stories of each of the husbands were they had similar traits and themes to them, certain ones of them, but they were all very different and memorable. And also, not only the seven husbands, but also other characters that appeared in the book that were kind of secondary or support characters. I really ended up enjoying how a lot of them were written. So this book was very honest about how things work in Hollywood, about death, etc. It kind of shone a light on the truth that Hollywood and fame is full of secrets. It's a dirty business. And I liked how Evelyn was so raw about her experiences. She told the truth. It really seemed to me that she wanted, Evelyn, not the author, wanted the readers of Monique's story to know, everything that went on in her life. She wanted to let them know about her life story without, sugarcoating anything, without changing any stories, without lying, basically. And just the way Evelyn was so truthful and raw about a lot of the things she's done. She didn't shy away from telling the readers. I thought that was very interesting, and that revealed a lot of her personality. So basically, one of the biggest things that I loved about this book is that it was plot twist after plot twist. And one of the major reasons that I think this book was so enjoyable for me is because you never knew what was coming next. And usually that's a common trait in like that's a common trait in action or fantasy or like sci-fi books and things like that. And this book is more, I would say, drama, maybe romance, kind of, like period fiction, like period of time. But it definitely existed here as well, like that plot twist kind of concept. And that's what made me like easily want to keep reading the book. That's why I think I got through it pretty fast. It kept the book so intriguing. And also the ending, I can't say anything about it, but wow. I think the ending is also one of the biggest reasons that I love this book, is because it ended in such a way that I don't know how to say this without spoiling, but I felt satisfied, but also like not satisfied. Like I felt satisfied as in the whole story was wrapped up, but it was also a pretty mind-blowing ending. Also, I heard that there's a book-to-screen adaptation of this book coming out. I'm not sure if it's a movie or a TV show, but I'm very excited. Hopefully they do it well, because if they do that, I'm so excited to see it. So I would rate this book 4.75 out of 5 stars. I think it's grown to be one of my favorite books. It has some sensitive topics in it, so I would like check trigger warnings, I would look up stuff, and I don't think it's like the best for younger audiences. But it was so good. I would recommend trying it, especially if you like, especially if you like drama, like shows. I think it gives similar vibes to that. So that'll be the end of my book review. If you like this video, then like this video and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and happy reading!